Hi guys, and welcome to Classic Rock and Country Music Facts and Trivia. Appreciate you being here. The mic's on. Today's video, once again, on Mick Jagger and the Beatles, and how Mick Jagger warned John Lennon against making his biggest mistake of his life. But John Lennon did not listen. Let's take a look. Mick Jagger wanted to keep the Beatles from making the same mistake the Rolling Stones did. John Lennon ignored his warning, though. Following the death of their manager, the Beatles hired Alan Klein, a move that Mick Jagger warned John Lennon against. Klein had worked with the Stones as well, and Jagger felt that it would be a terrible idea for the Beatles to hire him. He called Lennon to try to warn him. Lennon wouldn't listen. Several years later, though, he realized Jagger had been right. Rolling Stones worked with Klein before the Beatles hired him, and their working relationship did not end well. The band alleged that Klein had pocketed their royalty payments, failed to pay their taxes, and stolen their publishing rights. Jagger was especially suspicious of Klein, and the band ultimately hired a law firm to look into the way he handled their affairs. As this was happening, Lennon campaigned for Klein to become the Beatles' next manager. Klein had taken a secret meeting with him and detailed all the ways that he could make Lennon rich. Soon, Lennon had persuaded Harrison and Starr to hire Klein. When Jagger heard about this from the director, Michael Lindsay Hogg, he immediately set off for the Apple Corps. Here he found Klein in a meeting with the Beatles, and wanting to avoid confrontation, left without doing much to warn them. We, the Beatles, were all gathered in the big boardroom there, and we asked Mick how Klein was, and he said, well, he's all right if you like that kind of thing. Paul McCartney recalled in his book, Paul McCartney Many Years From Now, by Barry Miles. He didn't say he's a robber, even though Klein had already taken all of the Hot Rock's copyrights off them by that time. Per the book, Mick Jagger by Philip Norman, Jagger later called Lennon and warned him that he's about to make the biggest mistake of your life, and Lennon didn't listen, though. The Beatles hired Klein. Rolling Stone singer also wrote a note to McCartney about Alan Klein. The only Beatle who never liked Klein was McCartney. He wanted Lee Eastman, the father of his soon-to-be wife Linda Eastman, to take over the band's affairs. His bandmates felt this would put McCartney at an unfair advantage, though, and argued against hiring Eastman. Even if McCartney hadn't wanted to hire Eastman, he would have had his doubts about Klein. On top of calling Lennon, Jagger wrote a note to McCartney. Jagger gave me a note in an envelope to take over to Apple, addressed to Paul. Jagger's assistant, Peter Swales, said. It was a warning, maybe in solidarity with him. It was to the effect of, don't go near him, he's a dog, he's a crook. Klein managed the Beatles until they broke up, and then continued to work on solo careers of Lennon, Harrison, and Starr. Soon they began to have the same problems with Klein that Jagger had warned them about. By 1973, all of them had cut ties with him. There are many reasons why we finally gave him the push, although I don't want to go into details of it. Lennon said in his 1973, for the book, The Beatles' Diary, Volume 2, after the breakup, let's say possibly Paul's suspicions were right, and the time was right. Now, while Lennon didn't mention Jagger's suspicions, the chaos that Klein brought to the Beatles proved him right. I don't know, man. I understand, live by experience, live and learn. But if you got somebody who's experienced something and they've got something to share to help you out, take advantage. Take advantage. That's always the good motto to use. And it seems like this is one that they should have used. Don't think Mick would have steered them wrong. Anyway, that's all I have for you. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Please don't forget about classic TV facts and trivia. It's on Desi Arnaz Sr. From the I Love Lucy show. And some pretty interesting things about him. He's a pretty interesting kind of guy. Please don't forget to subscribe. And please like this video. Thank you very much. Have a great day. God bless you. I'll be praying for you.